Good evening and good morning. So my name is Aurélien Lorange from the CRC Foundation. Today we have the first of the two semifinals between two teams who qualified from the quarterfinals in the Inter-University Law Debate Tournament 2025 7th edition. And for that competition, we'll have actually the teams debating on the role of AI and as well some regulations possibly from the governments. So we'll discuss this in the debate, of course, by the two teams. But before starting, we give the floor to the two teams to introduce themselves. So we start first with Mr. José Molinelli González. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is José Molinelli. I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I'm an LLM student here at the University of Bologna.
Thank you and welcome. We have as well in Costa Rica Miss Maria Carolina González Blanco. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carolina González. I'm a second-year student of International Relations, and I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. Welcome. We have as well Miss Guleka Nildis in Bologna. Welcome.
Hey everyone, my name is Güleycan, and I am master student from University of Bologna. I wish good luck to everyone.
Thank you. Welcome. We have as well in Costa Rica Mr. Gabriel David Jiménez Benavides. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Gabriel. I'm an international relations student here at ULACIT. And yeah, it's a complete honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. And we have Mr. Mahmoud Bayramov. Welcome in Bologna.
Thank you, Mr. Lorange. I'm Mahmoud Bayramov. I'm from Azerbaijan and currently studying master's degree of law at the University of Bologna.
Thank you. And in Costa Rica with Miss Mabel Melissa Fernandez Ramos.
Hello, good evening to our fellow debatants in Italy. My name is Mabel Fernandez. I'm a student of international relations here at ULACIT, Costa Rica. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we want to as well give the floor to one coach who is in the room, a coach from the team of Bologna, Mr. Shakiri, former participants to the debate competition last year.
Hello, everybody. I go by the name of Salam, second-year LLM student at the University of Bologna. Been serving as coach together with Elisaveta, and I wish everybody a good match.
Yes, and we send greetings indeed to the second coach, Miss Elisaveta Vorobey, who participated last year as well with you in the team. We send greetings as well to the coach on the side of the team from ULACIT, so Professor David Garnier Mendes, and as well Professor Dean José Armando Madrigal Segura. So now I will share my screen. So first I remind for everybody, watching as well on YouTube, the topic which was sent to the two teams last week was governments must be legally required to disclose when AI is used in public decision-making process. So now we share my screen for the allocation of positions. And we'll do live, we'll sort out the position this way. So as you can see, so no, it's not the good, wait, email. It's not the good screens, I have so many screens. Hop, partager. Voilà, that will be this one normally. Can you see a wheel? Yes? Great. So yes, for this match, as you can see, there are two chances for each team. One chance to be in favor and one chance to be against the motion. So the team will be in favor of the motion. Of course, we'll be starting the first introduction. So we start the wheel now, and we'll know. For this match, that will be the team from ULACIT, Latin American University of Science and Technology, who will be against the motion. So it means, as a consequence, that will be the University of Bologna will be in favor of the motion, will be starting the first introduction. So it means concretely that the University of Bologna will be defending the position that governments must be legally required to disclose when AI is used in public decision-making process, while ULACIT will be defending the position that governments must not be legally required to disclose when AI is used in public decision-making process. So now, I will start the 5 minutes for you to prepare your positions, and then we'll hear the introduction by the team from Bologna. Here we are done with. So I give the floor to my colleague. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'll be your host for today's semi-final round. So we'll be shortly starting with the hearing of the opening speeches. Just a short reminder, you will also be getting visual cues from my video. So you have 80 seconds remaining and red for your time being up. Of course, you can comfortably conclude your sentences. And thus, without further ado, I would now give the floor to University of Bologna for your opening statements. You have 4 minutes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, some of the most life-altering decisions governments make, such as approving asylum, cutting benefits, and flagging fraud, are no longer made by humans. They are made by algorithms, but the people affected by it are never told. There is no signature, no explanation, and not even an appeal, just a result shaped by a system that remains invisible. So the question in this debate is not about whether AI should be used or not. The question is whether the people have a right to know when they're governed by it. So we affirm that governments must be legally required to disclose when AI is used in public decision-making. My speech consists of 3 parts. First, I will address the real-world human impact of non-disclosure. Second, the legal imperative behind our motion. And third, the importance of mandatory obligation. Now, let's start not with theory, but with reality. In Australia, the robo-debt program used automated data matching to issue unlawful debt notices to over 400,000 welfare recipients. People received letters they couldn't understand based on systems they never knew existed. And the outcome? Lives were devastated. A royal commission later called the system unlawful, unethical, and harmful. The same case happened in the Netherlands as well, where a fraud detection algorithm disproportionately flagged citizens of dual nationality. Families were wrongfully accused and punished, and the algorithm's existence was only acknowledged after the damage was done. These are not just policy failures, but they are legal failures, which allows me to move on to the second part of my argument, which is about the legal imperative. Let us be precise. Disclosure means the proactive legal obligation to inform individuals when an AI system materially influences a public decision. And public decisions include those affecting legal status, access to services, and fundamental rights, from social benefits to migration, housing to education. And when we say legally required, we mean duties enforceable before a court, where failure to disclose can invalidate decisions and trigger state responsibility. This is not a utopian demand, but it's grounded in hard law, soft law, and emerging global consensus already. Let's take a look at hard laws. Article 14 of the ICCPR protects the right to a fair hearing. That includes knowing how a decision was made. An algorithm you can't see is the one you can't question. Additionally, the European Union AI Act, which is the world's first binding AI regulation, requires disclosure in high-risk public decision-making, to be precise in Articles 13 and 52. And the likewise approach can be seen in Article 15(1)(h) of the GDPR. Also, the African Union's data policy framework already mandated transparency where data and AI impacts vulnerable populations. And to add precedent to top of this, in Syrie versus Netherlands case, the Hague Court ruled that automated profiling without disclosure violated Article 8 of ECHR, which is the right to private life. And similarly, in Evert versus Canada case in 2018, before the Supreme Court, they ruled that using secret risk assessment algorithms on indigenous prisoners violated their rights. So, these mentioned sources show how they are being crystallized into customary international law, which allows me to move on to my final part. Some governments may argue that voluntary disclosure is sufficient, but rights built on voluntariness are rights that vanish when inconvenient. And we do not oppose innovation. What we are opposing today is unaccountable automation. Because when a system decides who eats, who stays, who works, it must be answerable. And when it makes decisions that humans cannot explain, it must at least be disclosed to us. To conclude, we do not fear the future, but what we fear is a future where rights are lost, not through violence, but through silence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now be hearing the opening statements for the against position. Latin American University of Sciences and Technology, you two have 4 minutes.
Can you hear me well? Yep.
Yes.
Thank you. I will be starting in 3, 2, 1. Artificial intelligence is not the enemy. It is not a threat to democracy, nor a rogue actor escaping accountability. It is a tool, and like any other tool used by the state, it is already governed by law, by duty, and by responsibility. To demand mandatory disclosure is not only redundant, it risks doing more harm than good. Honorable judges, we oppose this motion not because we fear transparency, but because this proposal is legally unnecessary, administratively counterproductive, and normatively misguided. Our position is simple. AI used by governments should be regulated intelligently, not through blanket legal disclosure that creates inefficiency, confusion, and security vulnerabilities. We offer 3 key reasons to reject this motion. 1. The motion contradicts the principle of legality and confuses legal responsibility. Government officials are already subject to the principle of legality. They cannot act arbitrarily. Their actions must be grounded in existing law. Moreover, public servants are individually responsible for their actions and omissions while in office. As noted in the Article 11 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and Article 9 of the American Convention of Human Rights, no one can be punished for actions that were not criminal at the time they were occurred. If AI is misused or used unfairly, the human official is still legally responsible. So the premise that AI must be disclosed to ensure accountability misunderstands the structure of democratic law. Humans are always liable. 2. Mandatory disclosure is legally vague and practically dangerous. This motion proposes a sweeping legal rule. Yet, what exactly must be disclosed? AI is a really broad term. Does it include a chatbot that answers questions, an algorithm that sorts files, a predictive model used for internal planning? As the OECD 2024 report highlights, most AI used in public administration is still experimental, low risk, and advisory in nature. A blanket disclosure law would be unworkable. It risks flooding institutions with paperwork, creating legal uncertainty, and distracting from meaningful oversight. 3. The motion puts public safety and innovation at risk. Governments use AI for sensitive and security-related purposes, such as detecting tax evasion in Brazil, screening immigration applications in Canada, and to combat organized crime and public health threats across the world. Legally requiring public disclosure in these cases creates strategic vulnerabilities. It would allow malicious actors to reverse engineer the logic of enforcement systems and evade them. Furthermore, many AI systems are developed by private companies. Mandatory disclosure could breach contractual and intellectual property protections, including TRIPS Article 39, which defends trade secrets. As the OECD cautions, governments must strike a balance between openness and protection, not tip into legal overexposure. What do we stand for? We believe in risk-based proportional oversight, independent audits when necessary, and a commitment to public trust that doesn't undermine efficiency, legality, or public protection. But we reject the idea that AI, simply because it's digital, requires more disclosure than any other government tool. Accountability is already built into law. This motion treats AI as uniquely suspicious, when in fact it is just another tool governed by the same rules, operated by the same officials, subject to the same legal consequences. Let's not legislate based on fear. Let's regulate based on reason. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have now heard the opening statements from 2 teams. We'll proceed to hear the first rebuttals. Starting with the debate team of University of Bologna, you now have 2 minutes.
Honourable Magistrates, it is an essential aspect of contemporary liberty and freedom formulations of government for citizens to be able to hold their governments accountable. And in such a thing, we must also refer to particular treaties internationally speaking, such as the ECOSOC Treaty and the ICCPR, which deposit upon the state this idea that they have the obligation of safeguarding and protecting citizen rights. One of these essential rights is the right to due process, be that the substantive and procedural determination that government is being fair in their decision-making. And the only way upon which we can assure that such a due process is protected is precisely by knowing the particular means that government is utilizing to hold their decision-making efficient and accountable for the public. In such a way, we reject the opposition's arguments that there is no legal necessity, because AI particularly is not suspicious just because it is a digital technology, but rather because it is a decisive and generative digital technology that is essential and instrumental for particular decision-making. And as such, the contemporary temporary framework around it does not suffice to address its particular challenges. We must understand that the citizens can only keep government accountable if there is such a capacity as disclosure of information. And insofar as disclosure is present, there is a public interest in disclosure, because if not, the government cannot be held accountable for AI decision making. Such is the particular decision that in the European Court of Human Rights took in Lopez versus Spain in 2019, where it mandated transparency and proportionality in AIs and digital governance use within the European Union. Moreover, we have a statutory basis to claim its validity under the GDPR Article 22, upon which we can establish that there is a right for us not to be necessarily subjected to arbitrary or automated AI decision making, for which it is essential that people have the capacity to hold government accountable. It is not a war against the technology with a lot of opportunities. It is an assurance of our particular rights within the current legal framework.
Thank you. We'll now be hearing the first rebuttal for the against position by Latin American University of Sciences and Technology. You have 2 minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I will start in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, transparency matters, but a mandatory legal use of AI and public disclosure of AI use in decision-making is not a guarantee of justice. It's a threat to national security, public trust, and institutional credibility. The proposition cited the ICCPR to support full transparency. But what they ignore is that Article 19, Section 3 of that same covenant and Article 10, Section 2 of the European Convention of Human Rights explicitly allow restrictions to the right of information if it is necessary to protect national security, meaning that law already recognizes that transparency has limits. Also, the UK's Official Secrets Act of 1989 protects sensitive government systems, and the FOIA Exemption 1 in the US allows federal agencies to withhold information related to national defense or foreign policy, including AI systems used in border control, terrorism detection, and cybersecurity. AI is already used to detect money laundering, monitor cyber attacks, and map tax evasion schemes. So requiring a disclosure of how those models function would be like handing out criminals the blueprint to bypass detection. And that's not transparency. That's just plain sabotage. And here's another risk that goes often overlooked, and which is people misunderstanding of AI. In a world in which we live flooded with AI misinformation, most people lack the technical knowledge to distinguish between ethical automation and harmful practices. So when they hear AI is being used, the reaction is often fear and not understanding. So this means governments could face undeserved public backlash simply because people equate AI with surveillance, job loss, or human rights violations, even when we're regulating its use and none of these assumptions are true. We're not rejecting oversight, we're defending the responsible balance between openness and strategic confidentiality. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll proceed to hear the second rebuttal, starting with the position in favor, University of Bologna. You have 2 minutes.
Honorable magistrates, it is very essential for us to consider why it is that there is a general fear around AI. And when we look at cases such as the Netherlands versus Syria case, we do understand that particularly misused and misadministrated uses of AI can actually lead to the fracture of public trust and the invasion of the particular public interest around the particular objective that AI is being used for. Moreover, we must establish that we need not discuss the necessity of regulating AI in an abstract fashion when the European Union's Directive 41 of 2014 already provides us with a proportionality test for us to precisely know if there is a need for government to disclose a particular piece of information or not. This proportionality test is based on 3 particular elements. Number 1, necessity. Number 2, suitability. And number 3, balance. Is there a particular necessity for government to disclose what are the means that they're using for government decision making? Yes, because if not, people cannot hold these methods accountable. Is it suitable for government to do so when the only thing that is being said is particularly who is the AI provider? Then yes, it is perfectly suitable because there is not a violation of rights neither on the provider nor on the state's capacity to act, as also seen in the Netherlands versus Syria case, where the court clearly established that preclusion of AI mechanisms for the excuse of hypothetical government efficiency is not a sufficient argument to preclude the disclosure of information. And moreover, is there a balance? Do we suffer more than what we gain by actually providing people with the information of what they need to do to hold government accountable? The answer is is no. The truth behind all of this is that the OECD AI guidelines, as well as the UNESCO AI guidelines, always exhort governments to hold the right to transparency and to protect the right of privacy in the context of information. Truthfully, what must be stated in this matter is that we must not sacrifice transparency, which is essential for public interest, because of hypothetical government efficiency, which will change from state to state. It is not a matter of the people, it is a matter of the methods, and the people need to hold the methods accountable.
Thank you. To hear the second rebuttal from the opposing team, Latin American University of Sciences and Technology, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I will start in 3, 2, 1. Honorable judges, the proposition again fails to grasp the real-world consequences of transforming AI disclosure into legal requirement. Governments already face enormous administrative burdens. Mandating legal disclosure for every AI tool used, regardless of its function, creates unnecessary bureaucracy, stretches public resources, and ironically harms institutional efficiency. Let's be clear, not all uses of AI are high risk or sensitive. Even the AI Act of the European Union recognizes this by classifying categories based on risk. So, should, for example, public institutions be legally forced to report that AI was used to sort emails or assign meeting times? These disclosures will flood citizens with irrelevant information, weakening true transparency. The OECD's principle of administrative efficiency reminds us that digital governance must be proportional, context-specific, and practical. Legal formalism isn't transparency, it's red tape. Also, disclosure is not the only way to ensure accountability. As shown by Japan's AI guidelines for business, strong internal audits, algorithmic registers, and sectoral technical standards can provide oversight without fully legal overreach. We can perfectly replicate this for public decision making. Finally, when everything is marked as important, nothing is. Excessive mandatory disclosure may sound virtuous, but in practice, it overloads systems and dilutes real public understanding. Let's not mistake volume for transparency, nor regulation for wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now be hearing the concluding statements, starting with the debate team of the University of Bologna. You now have 2 minutes.
Dear audience, across Europe and beyond, we have seen real-life consequences by the algorithms. My colleagues have shown you clear examples. AI systems falsely accusing welfare recipients, discriminating against immigrants, and denying rights without warning. And if, as the opposing team claims, transparency already exists, then we must ask, why do these harms keep happening? These are not isolated failures. They are the consequences of the decision-making system hidden from the public view and immune to scrutiny. And without a legal requirement to disclose when AI is used, these harms remain unexamined, uncorrected, and systematically repeated. When AI is used to make public decisions, people deserve to know. Because without knowledge, there can be no accountability, and without accountability, the rule of law becomes an illusion rather than a safeguard. My team has already shown that we have the legal foundation. From EU AI Act to the GDPR, from human rights regulations to the case law, all of them pointing one principle. Transparency is not optional and not a bureaucratic burden. It is what grants public decisions their legitimacy. Our opponents speak of legality, efficiency, and innovation. But let's be clear. Administrative speed is no excuse for human invisibility. The rule of law is not technicality. It's a promise that public power must be traceable. And if AI decisions cannot be traced, they can't be trusted. This motion doesn't seek to ban AI. It seeks to govern it responsibly. Because in the end, if a government can't say how it made the decision, it shouldn't be allowed to make it. And that's why today we stand not just for regulation, but for justice, accountability, and democratic dignity. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Now to hear the concluding statement by Latin American University of Sciences and Technology debate team. You have two minutes.
Thank you. I will be starting in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposition wants you to believe that without legal disclosure, governments operate in secrecy. But this is a false choice. Transparency does not require rigid law. It requires intelligent governance. Let's be clear. As we mentioned, AI is not the enemy. It is a tool. Like any tool, it is already governed by law. Public officials are bound to the principle of legality, and they must act within the limits of the law and are personally responsible if any misuse. Whether they use AI or not, they are accountable. That is why we have the Article 11 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as we mentioned, the Article 9 of the American Convention, and the exception of national security in other covenants. Now, the proposition cites the EU proportionality test to justify this legal mandate. But that test, necessity, suitability, and balance, this actually proves our point. Proportionality requires context-specific decisions, not a blanket law forcing all governments to disclose every AI system regardless of the risk. Even in the EU AI Act, disclosure is only required for high-risk systems because the law must be targeted and risk-based, not sweeping and symbolic. In the Syria case they reference, the Dutch court did not outlaw AI. It ruled against a specific system that infringed on privacy without safeguards. That ruling calls for better oversight, better governing, not a universal disclosure. Finally, the OECD's 2024 report reminds us that most AI in the public sector is still experimental and low risk. Imposing a legal mandate now would overwhelm governments with unnecessary bureaucracy, risk exposure of secure systems, and discourage innovation and collaboration. So let's regulate AI proportionately, flexibly, and legally, not with a one-size-fits-all mandate, for the sake of the effectiveness of governance, public trust, and legal clarity. We urge you to reject this motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can now all relax. You're no longer graded after this part. And congratulations on completing your semifinal match. Congratulations on your whole journey in the competition so far. Either way, we'll be seeing you also in the final week for the debate, be it virtually or in person, or in the hybrid format as the final week will be set up. So thank you very much for your patience and for your progress and for your performance and debates. So without further ado from my side from the organizing team, I would like to give you the floor to reflect on the match, or possibly you can also reflect on the competition. First, starting with the University of Bologna's team. Mr. Gonzalez, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. What can I say? That was a fascinating match, and for me, it is honestly an honor to not only see the performance of my team, but also see the performance of our colleagues in Costa Rica. And the performance that you guys did was fascinating, and I'd love to say that in one way or another, I really wish that we will meet at The Hague and discuss these topics in a personal view, not necessarily in the competitive one. So I look forward to meeting all of you.
For Latin American University of Science and Technology, Mr. Benavides.
Yeah, it was an incredible match, as Mr. Gonzalez mentioned. I want to congratulate both my team and the team of the University of Bologna. I think we all did an incredible job. I don't know. I think personally, I mean, if our last match against the University of Lusaka was already intense, this was like the double of intense. It's been so far an incredible experience. We tried to prepare the best we could, as always. Yeah, pura bien. Thank you very much.
Thank you. For University of Bologna, Ms. Yıldız.
I am totally agree, both of you. It was really intense match. Sometimes for me, it was so hard to listen, catch the ideas, because also congratulations you guys. Your ideas were amazing. That's why sometimes it was used to rebut. It was hard to rebut or trying to reverse it. But thank you for your whole efforts to my team, to my coaches, and to other team.
Thank you. For Latin American University, Ms. Blanco.
Well, as also Gabriel was saying, this was definitely a really interesting match. We were really kept on our toes, so I really enjoyed that because it's the whole point of a debate, not expecting what the opposition is going to say and trying to come with a rebuttal for it. So it was really interesting. It's the match that I've enjoyed the most. So I really congratulate you all and also my team.
Thank you. Mr. Bayramov, University of Bologna.
Yes, I am indeed in the same opinion with all my colleagues. I think today's match deserved the name of semifinal. So both teams really deserve to come this far. I would like to congratulate the opposition team as well. I hope to see you in future and hope to network and, as Rosa said, have conversation off the competition. And I want to congratulate my teammates as well. That was a superb performance. I'm proud of all of you. Yeah, that's it.
Sharing for Latin American University of Sciences and Technology, Ms. Fernandez.
Hello, sorry, I had to change my computer because my image was lagging a little bit. No, well, same thing as my classmates mentioned. We're all, I think, very grateful for being able to participate in the tournament, and this debate was very fruitful, very rich, very engaging. Definitely happy about seeing another fellow Latino in the competition. That's very nice. And we want to congratulate the team for engaging with this topic because we agreed that it was quite a complex topic to explore in terms of the relevance of the actuality of the topic and how it is being applied in governments today. So it's quite vague for governments to manage this in real life. So we sit here and debate it. It's even more complex to put it in on legal terms. But we had a blast, honestly, and we're very grateful for the opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you. And of course, thank you also to those that supported you on the journey. I know Latin American University, your team is supported by coaches Mr. David Cartier Mendez and Mr. Jose Armando Matrico Segura. And for University of Bologna, it's we do have one of your coaches on the call with us, Mr. Sala. But it's quite fascinating to see also the past participants passing the baton, also becoming not just the participants, but the coaches. And so, Mr. Sala, any feedback you would like to maybe share and also wish for the team?
I mean, sure. First off, Ana Maria, nice to see you again. This is the first match ever since the 2025 edition kicked off that I see you. I might be a little bit weird because I need to put credit where credit is due. I mean, the guys at the University of Bologna, they had such an incremental improvement to a point where it's not that I'm at a loss for words to explain the quality that they bring to the table every time, but I'm at exhaustion of words match after match. As per the guys in Costa Rica, Gabriel said before that they tried to do the best that they could, and I promise you guys delivered. Just delivered with unsettling calm, preciseness, and reason. And really, guys, you did it. I mean, I wished a great match, and you gave a great match. So really, I have nothing else to add. Very well done.
Thank you for sharing. Of course, in a few days, you will receive the two teams. You will receive your topic for the final week, be it the match for the first place or the match for the third place. And we'll be seeing you during debates in The Hague for the week of 17th of June. For the Costa Rican team, unfortunately, I've heard that you might not be able to travel, so it will be in the middle of the night for you. We'll try to make sure the accommodation from our side is as much as we can, so it's not so it's as easier for you as possible to connect. And of course, this is one of the final matches. There is one more semifinal match later today, but it is one of the final matches of the 2025 edition. So is there anyone that you have met on the journey or that supported you on this journey, that supported you, that helped you during the competition all the way through from the beginning, maybe even prior to registrations to this point? And on that note, first passing the floor to the debate team of the Latin American University of Sciences and Technology.
Sorry, we had a little bit of like internet static, so can you repeat the question? Sorry, just a
Yes,
second.
of course. Since it's one of the final matches of this edition, who are the people that you've encountered the journey, that helped you on the journey, that you would like to thank, the people that supported you or helped you otherwise during the competition?
I can start. Of course, our coaches, because they already had experience and they shared more than their experiences. They always supported us, not just in a informatical way, but in a also emotional way. I guess after that debate, I feel like I will be more, I will be more brave in my whole life. That's why I would like to give too much thanks to my coaches, Elizabeth and Salah.
Right,
I would
thank you.
like to second that.
Go ahead. University of Bologna, so we're starting with you.
Oh,
then.
sorry. I was just saying that I would really wanted to second that because their comments and their feedback and their support ever since they selected us and ever since they've been guiding us, it's been incredible. We started with a coach to a mentor to mentee relationship, and truthfully, I have to say that has evolved into one of the most beautiful collegialities and friendships that I have known throughout my life. So truthfully, all of my thanks to Sala and Elisaveta and to my colleagues definitely for tolerating me.
Thank you. And also for your colleague, Mr. Bayramov.
Yes, I don't want to be repetitive, so I will not say coaches, but I will say my friends Jose and Güleycan, because even though I knew Jose a little bit, he was about to become my group mate, but I didn't know Güleycan. So I basically met them through this competition, and because of this competition, we right now have some kind of bond between each other. And I hope that in future we will be able to cooperate, we will be able to work like this in a higher institutions.
That's wonderful. For your team, Latin American University of Science and Technology, how was it for you?
So first of all, we would also like to thank our coaches because they have been truly an amazing support, and we've told them quite some times that we are really grateful for everything that they have brought into our attention, such as information for any debate, but also for the support that they've had, reminded us how far we've come, or even being late at night answering our questions, like, should we add something else to this? And then be like, yeah, but it's all great and you're doing amazing. So yeah, they've been truly amazing. And I also want to also congratulate my teammates because they have been amazing, and I am so proud of them, like the whole journey that we've been through together.
Yeah, well, in my case, as always, as every time I've been asked this question, I will always start by thank you first to God, also to every member of the family and friends that has been like supporting us and praying, and they have been there, even though that they're not like being part of the debate. They have been there. Also to well, my colleagues, as I always mention, also they has been a work of 5 people. I'm very proud of what we have done together. To our coaches, our professor David Garnier and Professor Jose Armando. Well, no matter what's the result of this match, I think we already touched the sky. So, yeah.
It's Fernandez maybe as well?
Yes. Well, no, same shared sentiment. I'm very grateful for my teammates, very grateful for my coaches, my family that definitely has been very supportive and engaged in the whole journey, and they're all very excited that we're here now. So everyone that has been involved, just a huge thank you for the support.
Thank you very much. Well, again, from the organizing side, there is nothing more that I can say other than really heartfelt congratulations for the progress and for participation this year. Given the past practice so that is established, I really do hope or anticipate to see some of you later down the road, either as coaches, mentors, or maybe even judges. So once again, congratulations from my side, and passing to Professor Lalange to close up the session.
Yes, so well done, all of you, actually, for everything you have done since February, because it has been several months now that we have been watching the progression and as well every, I would say, strategy that each of you have put in place. So it was very efficient, as you can see. And yes, that is great, and congratulations, because in February, of course, we are discovering the competition now. Yeah, you know all the corners of the competition and managing the time and the preparation, and with other obligations you have as well. So yes, we hope that now for the last match, so both of you, both teams, I mean, you will have a last match. So that will be on the 18th of June, and we hope that you will enjoy as much as possible. Of course, this time there will be more than 3 judges, so it will be up to 9 judges for the finals. And yes, the trophies arrived, and we have some other elements as well that we prepared and we are preparing as well. So in any case, we hope that you will enjoy. Yes, the topics will be sent. Yeah, of course, whatever is the result, you will know what are the topics for the finals and match for the third place. So as soon as the results come, of course, you'll know which one you have to focus on. But in this way, yes, you will have time, simply because indeed, for those who travel, those who don't travel, at least, yes, they will know at least what to focus on. Yeah, 2 topics, and one will be for your match. So many thanks, and again, we keep in touch, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.